Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of On the Couch with Christine. Today I'm very fortunate to have the Artistic Director of the Queensland Ballet Company, Mr. François Klaus, and his lovely wife, Artistic Associate Robyn White, here with me on two couches because we couldn't all fit on one. So thank you so much for being here. Now the first question I wanted to ask you is, you both have a European background, you danced in Hamburg for many years. What made you come to Australia, which doesn't have such a huge support for the arts, when you were having such a wonderful artistic career in a country that really supports the arts?
Well, the opportunity was there, you know, to a certain extent. It's a little bit how chance goes. We did work after my career as a dancer. We were in Bern, where we had the company there in Switzerland. And following this, we were looking for different companies, and the opportunity came here. And when I looked at the company, and I looked at Brisbane, and I looked at the makeup of the company, which is very different, from the European, I was quite attracted to it, because one of the main things which I found advantageous here is that by not being dependent of our opera house, we have much more freedom. First of all, Brisbane, we have very good facility, as well the theatre, as well as our studios, which is not so obvious in Europe. I mean, you know, it's still Brisbane, a fairly important city. There is dancers there, and ultimately, it's really you who is doing the environment. You know, once you're the director, you create your own environment. It doesn't matter so much where you are, but you need the freedom to do so. And in a way, it's probably easier here. On one side, we have the isolation. On the other hand, we had many years in Europe, many years of experience that we could bring here, and that was a good thing to do. One of the very good things of a company like the Queensland Ballet, which is quite atypical in the world, is the number of performances we can do, the amount of space we have. We can still tour in Australia, and recently with the possibility of touring in Europe and other places. And it's not so easy, you know, in Europe. So it's not a bad situation. I mean, you can get a wonderful situation in Europe as well, but it's not such an easy game over there either.
You just mentioned that you do a lot of different performances. They do a lot of performances with Queensland Ballet, but you also seem to do a lot of activities that allow the community to engage with the company. So you've got your vis-a-vis program, the JET program, the Queensland Ballet Professional Year. So would you like to take us through those different programs and what they are and what they do for people out there who mightn't be aware?
Well, there's a difference between the vis-a-vis program and the junior extension program and the professional year program, in that the latter two are schooling, and the vis-a-vis program is a performance, and it's designed to show the public a little bit more what goes on backstage, a little bit more what goes on behind the curtain, if you like, the inside story of our profession. For example, we just had one where François explained what happens with point shoes, and one of the girls demonstrated how how each individual dancer might prepare a point shoe in order to wear it on stage. Things that a public wouldn't necessarily be aware of if they hadn't danced themselves.
So what are some of the different ways? I would have thought everybody prepares their point shoe in the same way.
No, everyone has their own individual tricks to make the point shoe fit the foot and be comfortable on the foot. It depends a bit on the shape of the foot as well. Girls that have naturally very arched feet usually do a little bit less to their shoe as others who are struggling a bit more to get the line that they want of the foot. There are alterations you can do to the shape of the sole. You can sew down the back part of the shoe to make the heel narrower, so
Right.
it gives a better line. You, of course, the height of the vamp is different from one foot to the other, can be more or less flattering. You can put your ribbons in different places depending on where you want to show your arch. You can use elastic. You definitely have to bash the hardness and the stiffness out of them. As a professional, when your feet are strong, as professionals are, you can dance on much softer shoes than a 12-year-old. For example, you know, a young dancer needs a lot of support to stand up on point. But once you get to professional standard, you can dance on pretty soft shoes. So they have to be softened because they come out of the shop made for...
Right. I never knew this about point shoes. I think you should write a book. They could write a book and all the young dancers out there could go and get your book about how to make their feet look good in their point shoes.
Well, it'd be endless because I think they've, ever since the days of Anna Pavlova, dancers have always doctored their shoes.
Wow.
So...
Oh, well there you go, some interesting tips on your shoes. Now you also work very closely with the professional year students. What qualities are you trying to encourage in them that you think they need as a professional dancer if they're to go on in a career?
There's two sides to that. One is the basic technical ability in classical dance first and foremost, because we're a classically based company. Also in other dance forms, contemporary dance, character dance, they have pas de deux, they do repertoire, there are point classes for the girls. We also teach different forms of associated theatrical skills such as physical theatre, Suzuki method, drama of course, a little bit of voice coaching. Yeah, the wider the spectrum, the better, as far as background is concerned. The other side is the concept of professionalism, which goes beyond the basic skills that most dancers bring with them from their ballet schools, which are, you have to be ready on time, you have to turn up for class on time, you have to be appropriately dressed, you shouldn't be talking when the teacher is explaining something. Those, I think most of them are acquainted with before they get as far as a professional year. But then on top of that is the concept that they're part of a group and that they have to be a very active, contributing member of that group, which means, for example, if they're doing a repertoire class and one couple or one dancer is dancing, it's good if the others are able to be supportive of that person by watching, by observing, by maybe commenting later if someone's done something particularly well, rather than going in the corner and having a chat about what they might do when they get out of there. You know, that sort of atmosphere is something that we welcome in a company, because a company is very much based on a team spirit, and the stronger the team spirit you can cultivate in a company, the stronger that company is going to be.
Right.